The Christmas lights flickered like dying stars on the tree, and little Emily, my own granddaughter, barely 5, tugged at her mother's sleeve. She pointed straight at my boy, my Ethan, who stood beside me in his too small sweater I'd knitted last spring. "Grandma says you're the maid's kid," she announced, loud enough for the whole room to freeze. My daughter-in-law, Sophia, didn't hush her. She smiled, thin and sharp like she'd rehearsed the moment. My son, Daniel, stared at the floor. And I felt the floor tilt under my 72-year-old knees, the way it did the night I buried my husband 30 years ago. "I need you to stay with me now. Don't look away." Because what happened next wasn't just a family fight. It was the day I stopped being the ghost in my own house. I remember the silence that followed Emily's words. The crackle of the fireplace. The smell of cinnamon cookies I'd baked at dawn, their sweetness turning sour in my mouth. I'd risen before the sun like always. Kneaded dough with hands that still remembered my mother's rhythm. Folded tiny sweaters for the grandchildren who barely knew my name. The kitchen tiles were cold under my slippers. The same tiles I'd scrubbed on my knees when Daniel was teething, and I worked double shifts at the diner to pay for his braces. That morning, I'd hung the stockings myself. Daniel's first, then Sophia's, then the children's. Mine stayed in the box. "You don't need one, Mom," Daniel had said years ago. "You're not a kid," I'd laughed then. I wasn't laughing now. Let me take you back because you need to see the whole picture. The whole slow bleed. I was Margaret, Maggie to the few who loved me once. Widow at 42. Raised Daniel alone in that small brick house on Maple Street. Worked the register at Wilson's Grocery till my feet swelled purple. Saved every penny so he could go to college. When he brought Sophia home, I sold my wedding ring to help with the down payment on their starter house. "It's just metal, honey," I told him when he protested. "You're my real treasure." The first crack came small. A forgotten birthday. Then a Christmas where they arrived late, left early. Traffic, Mom. Always traffic. Always tomorrow, I kept giving. The garden I tended. Roses for Sophia's bouquets, tomatoes for their salads. The attic I cleaned so the kids could have a playroom. The savings bonds I cashed when Emily needed braces. "Your family," I'd say when Sophia's eyes calculated the cost. Family takes care of family, but family started taking. And taking Sophia would call at midnight. Maggie the nanny quit. "Can you watch the kids tomorrow?" Tomorrow became every day. I'd cancel my book club, my doctor's appointments, rocked babies with colic while Sophia posted vacation photos from Aruba. "You love them so much," she'd coo. Love, that's what she called it. Daniel stopped visiting alone. Always with excuses. Sophia needs the car. The kids have soccer. I'd wait on the porch anyway, coffee cooling in my hands. The swing creaked empty beside me. Then came the papers. It was March, the snow melting into gray slush. Daniel arrived with a folder. "Mom, we need to talk about the house." His voice was gentle, the way it used to be when he had nightmares as a boy. "Property values are up. If we sell now, sell?" I laughed, but it came out wrong. "This is my home, Danny. Your father built the porch with his own hands." Sophia stepped forward, her perfume sharp as cut glass. "It's impractical, Maggie. One woman rattling around in 4 bedrooms. Think of the children's future." I looked at my son. Waited for him to meet my eyes. He didn't. That night, I found the will they'd drafted. My signature forged at the bottom. The house to be sold upon my incapacity. My savings transferred to a trust for the grandchildren. My name reduced to a footnote. I sat at the kitchen table till dawn. The same table where I'd taught Daniel to tie his shoes. Where I'd cried when his father died. Where I'd written birthday cards with trembling hands because arthritis made the pen slip. The coffee went cold. The birds started singing. And something in me, something that had been folding itself smaller and smaller for decades, unfurled. I made calls that week. Quiet ones. To my lawyer, Mr. Henderson, who'd handled my husband's estate. To the bank. To the locksmith who owed me a favor from when his mother was sick. Daniel came on Good Friday. The kids were at Disney with Sophia's parents. He looked thinner, worried. "Mom, the realtor says..." I handed him coffee in my husband's old mug. The one with the chipped handle. "Sit, Danny." He sat. "I've changed the locks," I said. My voice didn't shake, not once. "The deed is in a trust now, my trust. The savings bonds are gone, invested in a fund for me." For the first time in my life, his face crumpled. Mom, you're being dramatic. Sophia's just practical. Sophia called my grandson the maid's kid. I let that sit between us like a living thing. In my house. The house I paid for with 40 years of scraped knees and broken hearts. She meant every word. I stood. My knees popped, but I stood straight. You taught your daughter that blood doesn't matter. Only money does. Congratulations. He reached for me. We can fix this. Just sign the papers, and there are no papers, Daniel. I walked to the door. Opened it. The spring air smelled of lilacs. There's just this door. And you on the wrong side of it. He left crying. I didn't watch him go. The first month was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses against your eardrums. I expected them to fight harder. They didn't. Sophia posted photos from the Bahamas. Sure, family first. The irony tasted like rust. I started small rebellions. Painted the kitchen yellow, the color Daniel hated as a child. Bought a cat. Named her Justice. She sleeps on my husband's pillow now. I joined the senior center. Learned watercolor. My roses won a blue ribbon at the county fair. Emily's birthday came. A package arrived, returned unopened. Inside, the doll I'd saved 3 months to buy. A note in Sophia's perfect cursive, "We don't accept charity." I burned the note in the fireplace. Watch the flames eat her words. Christmas came again. The tree was smaller, just for me and Justice. I hung one stocking, mine, filled it with chocolate and the new glasses I'd been putting off. The lights were steady this year. No flickering. At 11:59 p.m., my phone buzzed. Daniel, I let it ring. The voicemail was tears and apologies and promises. I deleted it without listening. Midnight struck. I opened the front door. Snow had started, soft, deliberate flakes. The porch swing moved gently in the wind. I sat. Drank hot cocoa from my husband's mug. The steam rose like ghosts saying goodbye. Somewhere down the street, a family laughed. Not mine. Didn't need to be. I thought of Emily's words last year. The maid's kid. Maybe she was right. I'd been cleaning up their messes my whole life. Scrubbing their stains from my heart, but maids get paid. And I was done working for free. The snow kept falling. Covering the steps where Daniel used to wait for the school bus. Covering the garden where I'd buried my wedding ring to fertilize the roses. Covering everything. I raised my mug to the dark. To dignity, I whispered. To boundaries. To the women who learn late but learn well. Justice wound around my ankles, purring. The cocoa was sweet. The night was mine. And for the first time in 72 years, I wasn't waiting for tomorrow.